welcome to Adlam TV. So as promised, today I'm going to be doing a video telling you a bit about myself and my other interests. So I'm going to start off with is a little bit of history of me. So firstly, obviously, you know, my name is Adam and I'm a Man United fan. I am not from Manchester, so most people are already going to say I'm a glory hunter, but I'm what is known in the trade is a pad brat, or an army kid. My dad served in the army. I've lived in various places all over the world. I wasn't even born in England. I was born over in Belgium. I've lived in Germany, many places in England, Sandhurst being one that probably most people will know about. Northern Ireland, Seoul, South Korea. I lived there when I was 4/5. The reason I'm a Man United fan is because my late mother was a Man United fan. She comes from Carrickfergus in Northern Ireland, so anyone that's heard that Ed Sheeran song, I do know the town, and obviously I still have some family that live over there. Most of them not so much anymore, but there is still some there. So that's obviously family history. You know, as I said, that's why I'm a Man United fan, because my mother was. And the gist of it was, when I was given the ultimatum of Man United or Chelsea, I basically said to my parents, "Who wears red?" To which my dad went straight away, because he knew he'd lost. Going into other sporting interests, I do like to watch both the Summer and Winter Olympic Games. I know they have literally just finished in Pyeongchang. I didn't watch as much of it as I would have liked. I'm more of a Summer Games person. You know, when they were on in London, my son had literally been born the week that the opening ceremony for the London Games came on. So fortunately I had my paternity leave for the 2 weeks that those Olympic Games were on. So I thought it was a bonus. I thoroughly enjoyed those games, always have prior. I mean, my first Olympics that I really remember paying attention to was '96. Obviously, I mentioned to you I moved to Seoul, South Korea. I literally moved there about a month or two after the '88 Olympics had finished, which obviously was hosted in Seoul. So I did get to go and see the stadium and stuff, but obviously the games were over by the time I was over there. I vaguely remember it was 30 years ago, so I don't remember it all that well. I'm a massive G1, Generation 1 Transformers fan. The show itself is only six months younger than I am. So obviously I didn't watch it when it started, because I was only born 6 months prior. And also in the UK, we didn't get it till sort of the late 80s. I mean, my first introduction to the Transformers was this, the movie, 1986 movie. It was 1989. My grandparents had come down to visit. Well, actually, they come down to look after me, because it was when my younger brother was due to come into the world. So they recorded the videotape of Sky, which had only just been born itself a year or so prior. My granddad had recorded it for me, because I had been introduced initially to the Japanese Transformers when I was in Korea, got some of the toys. That's how I originally got into it, but I hadn't seen any of the North American shows at all. I'd only ever seen the Japanese ones with subtitles, and being 4 years old, I'm not going to be able to understand any of what's going on, or read it quick enough to keep up with this, you know, the story. But so yeah, so I got that movie, and I loved it. You know, every morning before school I always watch that movie. In recent years I've got into collecting the Masterpiece figures. So this one here is the Hasbro MP10 Optimus Prime. You can tell because the Takara version, the blue is darker. But there I have also bought the KFC hands for Prime, so he's got the fully opposable digits, as you can see there. So he's got all the digits opposable. He was the first one I got when I decided I was going to collect, you know, adult collectible Transformers. So he does like to lean over. Michael Jackson, eat your heart out. So that's him. Then I also have, you know, other ones. So this is my MP. I think it's 12. This is actually a knockoff version because, you know, when the original ones was it 60-70 pounds for such a small figure. Bearing in mind, you know, I managed to pick this guy up for £80, which, you know, was the cheapest I could find at the time. So I got him for £80. This guy was going, the official one was going at £60, and I was just like, the official the Takara one. I wasn't going to have that, so I got this knockoff because it was 20 quid. So I thought, fair enough, whatever. So that's a Sideswipe. This one here is Wheeljack. Again, this is MP 20, I think, maybe 21. It's around that area. Again, this is a knockoff though. So one thing with him, I did get aftermarket face bits so that his side bits here were luminescent. It came up blue, as you can see there, nice and blue. I thought it just looked much better than the one that it came with. So that's that one. So now we go into third party pieces. So this is Bad Cube Sun Surge. I think it's OTS 04, maybe, I can't remember, but it's Old Timer Series, that's what they call it anyway. But this was their Sun Surge. This is their version of Sunstreaker. This came out before Takara had released their Masterpiece version. So, because I wanted to obviously have the brothers, the Lamborghini Countach brothers, in my cabinet together. So this Bad Cube one came out 2015 or 16, sort of late in the year. I remember I got it myself as a Christmas present. So that's an aftermarket sticker. You know, it did obviously come with it because that would be copyright infringement and they'd get in trouble. And the final one I want to show you is the Transbots, a quick version of Scourge, and again that's got an aftermarket insignia sticker there. It's probably the most expensive piece in my collection. It cost me, I think it was £120. No, 110 it was. But third party figures always are. They're always more expensive than the actual official ones. So, well, they used to be. They're getting cheaper now. I do have like the MP Grimlock and let's see, Thundercracker, Ironhide, Hot Rod, Trax. So what I've decided to do, instead of just telling you about the other figures, I was going to quickly show you them in their displays as they are. So here we have Thundercracker, which is the Jet, and Ironhide. They are the official Takara MPs. The Thundercracker one is the Hasbro version of the MP11 mould, and Ironhide is MP27, I believe. Text will come up to correct me in a minute. Down here, for me, it's that one's Rumble, because he was out Rumble in the animated series. Officially, toy-wise, he is Frenzy, and this one here, obviously animation, it's in my eyes it's Frenzy, but again, toy-wise, that one's Rumble, that's Buzzsaw, and that's Ravage. I am kind of at the moment trying to get the Soundwave that comes with Laserbeak. It's really hard to come by now because it's been out for a long time. Unfortunately, I didn't start collecting these until after that one had been released, so it's really hard to get at a good price. Over here I have Smokescreen, that is a knockoff, but that one there flying is Trax, that is the official MP Takara version. I got that one when it was released. And over here, doing a little symbol that wrestling fans may know, with his aftermarket hands. That is Red Alert. He is also a knockoff. Then there's Prime's trailer, and there's obviously his original gun and roller. Here is the MP hot rod, MP20 something, I forget which one. Again, that'll come up. And this is the Hasbro release of Sunstorm in, again, of the MP11 mould. Hence why he is in jet mode and Thundercracker is in robot mode. Unfortunately, Starscream is quite pricey, as is Skywarp, but I do eventually plan on having both of those. That is the reissue of the Constructicon set. As you can see, I've got some extra aftermarket parts here, and for the hips. Also, the head bit is from the aftermarket set, and also the bottom parts of the arms and the chest plate as well. Unfortunately, he's not massively stable, hence why he's stood the way he is. This is the Target Master that comes with the X-Transports version of Scourge. I will put in texts what the actual official name from X-Transports for him is. There's a mug that I got as a Christmas present from my wife, and that is the Hasbro release of the MP08 Grimlock. So the next thing to show you is my Warhammer. Like I said, like I told you prior, I do paint the figures. I'm not keen on playing the games. I get far more pleasure out of just sitting there and being, you know, really detailed in painting the figure. So this is probably what I would consider to be my favourite one so far that I've done. Hopefully we can get that. It wouldn't focus, so I've decided to do it like this instead. So like I said, this is probably the one I'm proudest of, just because I think it just came out so well compared to the others. Just as for a comparison for you, this is one I'd done a few years ago. Kind of was a bit ambitious with it. Base, to be honest with you, is horrible. I definitely need to rebase this one. Not too bad, but I just was never really quite happy with it. Then I sort of got to this level. Again, better, but for me still was missing something. And I just couldn't quite at the time put my finger on it. I think it was the mistake I put in the gloss sheen on it. But with this one, I decided to go with a satin spray over once I'd finished everything. As you can tell, unfortunately, that I've damaged some claws here, so I need to fix that, repaint that. Done some drilling ball sort of work in there. The base is bits of cork with a texture paint, and then washed and then dry brushed. The rocks are actually got like a brown texture paint, and then were given the brown wash, whereas the ground's black. The base is originally airbrushed on the black, and then I've obviously done all the line work by hand. There's a couple of little blotches, but again, you know, this is the sort of early work for me. Realistically, I'd done it as a teenager. I was never really any good then. And it's just sort of taken me some time to get good at it. But as you can see, for some of these bits at the front, the lights, you know, that one came out perfectly, but not so much over here or up there. But skull, I like, came out well. Again, the washes in the work there. But as I said, it's the one I'm most proud of, and I'm only getting better. So future works, maybe at a later time I'll show you when they're done, and you can sort of see as I do how much better I am as I go along. So yeah, other sports I'm into, obviously, as I mentioned before, NFL, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. So obviously I'm probably the only Man United fan in the entire world that was not annoyed when the Glazer family decided to buy the club, being a Bucks fan, thinking, well, they turned a NFL franchise that were just the laughingstock of the entire league into Super Bowl champions. You know, they turned it all around and made the team successful for a brief period of time. Hasn't been much since. Other sporting teams are ice hockey, New Jersey Devils. So NBA wise, New York Knicks is my team. So that's probably the one time I stray from the red being the colour of choice for my teams, because they're blue and orange. So and the only other occasion is my MLB team, which is the San Francisco Giants. I don't really have a team in cricket. If I was going to say anything, I'd probably have to say Hampshire, and the pure reason is the Ageas Bowl is about 10-15 minutes away from where I live. So that's going to be it. But Six Nations, rugby. I watch World Cup when the Rugby World Cup comes around. Watch that too. I'm not, you know, if I have a team in the Premier League, it's Bath, or Bath, as people in the town would say. But I'm of the philosophy of where's the R? So it's Bath. So sports wise, that's really everything I'm into. So I also enjoy watching anime. I've watched over the years Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Both series are great. Brotherhood, probably a better complete story, but understandably, considering that show was made after the manga was finished with, so it was truer to its original source material, whereas when the original series was being made, the manga was still incomplete, so they had to put a lot of filler in and had their own ending. I still enjoyed it, but Brotherhood is definitely the better show. If you haven't seen either, I'd watch the original one first, then watch Brotherhood. It's 50 odd episodes, the original series, 60 odd for Brotherhood. And I've only watched season 1 of Attack on Titan. Reason being is because I haven't been able to get a English dub of the second season, and I'm not one for subtitles purely because I just can't read quick enough, and I end up missing most of the good information if I'm just watching it through, or I have to pause it, and obviously you can't enjoy the show properly if you're pausing it constantly just to read what's going on. So I haven't seen the second season yet, so but please, anyone, don't spoil anything. I kind of know some of what's gone on, but I don't want to know too much information about it. I've watched Kill la Kill recently. I did enjoy the series. It's a little wacky, bit of fan service, but I did enjoy it. Seen Gurren Lagann, again another wacky show, but if you don't take it too seriously, thoroughly enjoyable. My favourite anime, I would probably say, for me, is Death Note. Just that sort of psychological thriller type. I love those shows. I love the real crime stuff. It's right up my street. Absolutely love Death Note. If I would ever to suggest an anime to anybody, it would be that one. Currently watching Devilman Crybaby and Seraph of the End. That sort of recently become available on Netflix. Black Butler, that's just quite funny for me. It's demonic and what have you, but it's a bit wacky again. Tokyo Ghoul, it's okay. Seven Deadly Sins I've watched. That's I'm waiting for the new series to come out of that. I hope it comes out soon. It's supposed to come out sometime early this year, I think, if I remember rightly, but it was supposed to happen last year and it didn't, so I can't wait for the next series of that to come out. The next series I plan to watch is on Netflix now. There's an English dub version of Fate Stay Night, so I've heard good things. I sinned in the Fate Apocalyptica, I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that one. Again, I'll write it down below if I've said that wrong. But Fate Stay Night, once I've watched the two that I'm currently watching, because I can only manage 2 at a time. There are some series that I'll watch the whole thing of that one series and I will not watch anything else. Death Note was a prime example. I had at that time about halfway through watching Breaking Bad, and I come across Death Note. I'd obviously heard many good things about it. I just never had a chance to watch it. Watched the first 2 episodes, and that was it. I was hooked. It's about 48 episodes, I think. Again, right below. But yeah, because I couldn't stop watching it. It was brilliant. I have seen the movie. The movie is okay. I enjoyed the movie. Most people hated it, like true anime fans. But I knew what they were going to do. I knew they were going to change most of it, which they did. And I was taking it on the value of just ignore the anime. As far as my mind is concerned, the anime does not exist. I can see some issues and I can understand some people's problems with it, but for me, you take it on face value. If you have never watched the anime and you watch that movie, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it. And Willem Dafoe is brilliant as well. It's really absolutely great. That's everything regarding anime. I do love to play video games as well. I wouldn't consider myself to be a gamer, but I do like things like FIFA. I did skip FIFA 17, but I'm on FIFA 18. I'm just getting caught up on the style. I'm only playing it on professional at the moment, so I am looking to try and get it, my style and my play up to world class before I do my FIFA series, which I plan to do in the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to do a Man United career mode once, maybe twice a week. Obviously, I will update you once I have decided how many times a week and when that's going to start. I do play Madden as well, so when Madden 19 comes out, because I'm going to be skipping this one purely for the fact that I'm really, really rusty with Madden games. As I only got into American football in my 20s, and there's only 17 weeks to a season, including playoffs. There's another 22 weeks from start to finish. It's done. So you don't get an awful lot of time, especially when in the UK we get to watch 4 games if you're not wanting to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning, you get to watch 2 games a week. And sometimes I don't even get to do that, especially if the earlier games clash with actual football games. So I'm learning the game anyway, so I'm hoping at some point to look to do a Madden series as well. I obviously played also all Assassin's Creed games. Love them all apart from 2. You could probably guess which 2 are if you play the games. By the way, I am on the Xbox, so if anybody wants to add me, by all means, my gamer tag is Adlan, minus the TV. Just obviously send a message with a request to say that you are a subscriber. I will add racing games as well. I haven't got the latest Forza, but I got the one before. That's actually the Xbox version I have, is the limited edition Forza 6. Yeah, Forza 6. Blue Xbox with the controller and stuff. So again, it's racing simulators. I like F1 as well. That's obviously another sport of mine, but I'm kind of getting fed up with one manufacturer winning constantly. It's changed, but it's still one manufacturer winning constantly. Spa's my favourite race circuit, so whenever the Belgian Grand Prix is on, I will always watch that. But anyway, I'm digressing from the game section. So other games that I play, I've got Battlefront 2. I don't play that all that much, but I do play that. I do have like Unity, which is, let's say, one of the Assassin's Creed games I'm not a fast fan of. I do have Syndicate. I have Battlefront 1 as well, of course. I don't have Battlefield 1. I've kind of gone off shooting games. I only got Battlefront 2 as a Christmas present. You know who you are. Battlefront 1 I did get myself. and I barely played it. I think I got up to level 8. I lost interest in playing the game, and when you buy the deluxe edition, trust me, that's a lot of money wasted. Other games I'm into, I used to play COD, but again, as I said, I've gone off shoot 'em ups, so that's pretty much it at the moment. Most of the games I used to play a lot of, I've kind of, tastes have changed, I suppose. You know, I am in my 30s now, so shooting people all the time is not so much fun. But I've just kind of stuck to the sports games. I've always liked those. I mean, FIFA I've been playing since '98, because I got that for for my 14th birthday. I got FIFA '98 and a PlayStation, and I've played most FIFA since then. I played every FIFA up till FIFA 10, and then I sort of intermittent between then. Resident Evil games, I used to play those a lot. I was a PlayStation person when the 32-bit consoles were about, and then after that I had a PS2, didn't get an Xbox because those controllers were clunky as anything. Then it was a PS3 or Xbox 360, that's when I made the switch. Reason being at the time simply was price. And the fact that I spent less money and got more for it. I got the console, 2 controllers and 2 games for about 50 quid less than the console and 1 controller on its own for a PS3 and no games. So I was like, well, I'm going to save myself 50 quid and get a lot more for it. So it was a no-brainer. Obviously since then I've gone with the Xbox One instead of the PS4. One of my buddies, who is also a YouTuber, Lord_Screw, I believe. I'll double check. I will write it down below if I got it wrong, but I believe that is his channel name. He is on the PS4, and he plays things. I think the streams he does is on Fortnite, I think the game's called. Again, I'm not into shoot 'em up so much, but if you're into those, go check him out and say he's a good friend of mine, and do tell him that Adlam sent you, and he'll know, and I'm sure I'll get a text message shortly afterwards. So yeah, other interests of mine would be general TV related stuff. So I do watch drama series. I am quite a bit behind on Walking Dead, like a season and a half, maybe 2 seasons behind. Yeah, about 2 seasons behind, to be honest with you. I need to do catch up on that. Like Game of Thrones, I'm bang up to date with that one. I do need to finish watching Sons of Anarchy. After a particular character died, my wife decided she didn't want to watch it anymore. And so I've been waiting to watch the final 2 seasons for about 2 years now. So all fun. What other series am I into? That's all I can think of off the top of my head. So that's pretty much everything that I've got to go into. You know, by all means, if anyone would like to share what other interests they're into, I think there probably are other things that I am into, but I'm not into them enough to really go into depth. So by all means, to say if you have anything, let me know down below. You know, I will reply to any messages I get on this video. You know, have a conversation in the comments section. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed already, the button will come up there, and I'll see you in the next one.